it's not the style of game that I'm competent at. So I'm not really sure. And plus, the sheep is a puppet character, and that's even harder. And I don't think I can play that game.
Palm's my second. Palm is my second
Fi-
character.
I can't play Palm.
I love Palm.
Well, if we come to
The
some
art
sort of a
style is
situation
certainly
where them's fighting herds can be used as a placeholder, just like I told y'all, we did a round in my private game of Betrayal at House on the Hill to simulate the party going through a haunted mansion, and it worked out really, really well. So
That would be
I'm
effective, actually.
yeah.
You know what? Can we use them fighting herds? I would love to end up being able to end up knowing that my skill check is an actual skill check versus Maddie. You know, just look. I've been dealing with
Derek
Derek dice
No
for
Derek dice
so many
involved.
years. Okay, let me.
I'm taking it back.
Let Derek have some actual skill in something. Derek dice is a real thing.
All right.
But
That's good.
they happen because Derek is such a
Fantastic
role-playing force that they're called role-play opportunities, not just Derek dice.
They happen very often, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, our Jesus has a vendetta on Derek, and I don't know why.
He does. He does.
You know, I know exactly why. It's because I haven't changed my name. I'll let everybody else ruminate. I'll explain in the chat, but for the audience, I want you to think about my name and then wonder why it is that RNGesus has a problem with it.
Well, hey, Derek Crumdrade is floating you a +1 to help mitigate a little bit of your Derek dice. For
Thank you very much, Chrome.
whatever shenanigans are going to be happening here. Now, we are going to start, as I said, in a bit of in media re, or in media res. I forget if you pronounce the S in that or not. I think it's in media res.
I think that one is pronounced.
In other words, explosions. And that's kind of where we're starting at, because the harbor is on fire. It's filled with ships searching for targets after other people search the ships as targets. There's a giant whale-like water-spitting ship kind of doing a very slow 360 in the harbor. And by the way, the red stars are places that are on fire. A nice quick sketch here of the area where the immediate things are taking place. We have buildings, we have streets. There's a lot of innocent bystanders, not necessarily right in the center of things, because many of them have either fled or perished. And there might be people who are on their ships, trapped or just trying to hunker down. Probably some people who jumped in the water to try and avoid any kind of kersplooshes. Although, unfortunately, because of the way that I was rolling last night, it would seem that the crew of the ships are not very good at at finding their targets. They're having some stormtrooper aiming problems here, and just cannonballs were going everywhere except where they needed to go, thus causing an exacerbation, and the exacerbation therefore went on to exacerbate very, very much. And so, caught up in this now, we have a flying invisible Mordecai and a flying bright, soon to be ethereal. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what I will be saying is that you all will be coming in from this lower right corner, like probably you were up in a tower or whatnot, so we're playing 3D&D. Now, for the backup crew who got the message about what's happening, and there are going to be some events taking place that, I mean, obviously listen to as players, because you'll see, I don't know, maybe Mordecai and Bright will just want to go and like boop someone on the nose and say, gotcha, and then fly out of there, and that's that. Or probably not. But I don't know. I cannot plan for this as a dungeon master. And so you all are going to, the rest of you will be arriving on the scene here from this this low central avenue. Unless you wanted to, I don't know, split up or something, in which case you could probably take another route. But I am planning narratively on you all making your entrance down here on this main street that would dump out into the harbor. If it matters, there's a lot of... this is an area where the left-hand side, these are some warehouses. And the other parts of the buildings here, while there are a lot of ships, there's a lot of like little recreational personal vessels. And so we're mainly looking at things like retail operations and restaurants and other kind of not warehouse, dockside real estate. There's probably, I don't know, there's probably like a really nice, on the corner, this might be like a nice condominium or townhouse unit or something. So, you know, some residential, mostly commercial, and a little bit of warehouses, and the warehouses here are on fire. And I'm going to say that there is a restaurant over here that is also on fire. That was probably not caused by the kitchen. Or if it was, then it was because, you know, a cannonball went into the kitchen and, like, flipped over boiling oil onto other things that then caught fire. So, a kitchen fire, just not, you know, caused by... Well, it was caused by human error, just not the cooks.
That wouldn't be human error. That would be just flat-out trajectory physics.
So there are...
Nuclear vessels.
Yeah, there are 6 smaller airships of similar design to what you saw in the desert, Mordecai. Though these ones only have 4 little engines, not the 6. So these are more like little, you know, the one you were going on was like a troop transport. These are more little, like, military escorts. So they don't need, you know, they don't need as much lift or as much whatever power the engines are providing. They're supposedly more nimble and have some weapons that the other ones didn't. You know, but we'll see. But those are 4. And then there are 4 visible engines on the big whale-like one because there are others that are not above water, like the 4 you see here. Now, I do not have this on a separate layer as a token, but this ship here, it has sustained some damage because it was hit by some fireballs and lightning bolts. It is still functioning. Like, there's still water that's kind of spraying out of some... you know, some pumps or hoses or like a... It's not meant to be a fountain, but, you know, it's like a fire suppression whatevers, cannons or something. Not pew-pew cannons. Well, water pew-pew cannons. And it does have a big, like, a gout of water that is coming out of this open... The front has opened up. Think almost like how you can see cargo planes and they have the nose that opens up. So something like that has happened, giving it an even more whale-like appearance. And there is a big stream of water that is still pouring out, and it is in a slow clockwise. It's in a slow clockwise rotation.
Okay.
So given we have Mordecai and Bright, you were doing some calculating. Unless it's shut off or something, not that the stream itself is necessarily. Anything that's like I don't know, like a high pressure, you know, it's more of a big just deluge, a big gout of water. So if it does end up turning back around, I mean, it would get the other ships at the dock wet. I don't know if necessarily it would destroy them because it was kind of meant to do a display, and it's still doing the display. But just so you're aware, water's still flowing through this giant ship that was descended into the water. And then I think I had Professor. You were going to do a little dimension door for the last like 500-ish feet. So
Yes.
that'll be pretty close to like when you're arriving on the scene here. This is not to a particular scale. This was just more to show you what's going on where.
I must ask though.
Yes.
Those ships, how large are they? Like, would you have any kind of neat dimensions? Because just in terms of width. I
I'm
don't
sorry
need
for
length.
my noisy
Just
typing.
because
This app does not
I
conserve
need
any
it
browser
for
version.
geometry purposes.
Oh, thank you for the re-up, Fluffy. Are you talking about the Shadahar airships, or are you talking about the more traditional wooden ships on the docks?
The airships.
The airships, let's see, these ones were a little smaller, so let's say that they're about, they're fairly like tapered. We'll say they're more like 15 by 15 feet across, 40 feet long.
15 feet across.
Yeah, but it would taper.
Alright.
It would taper a little bit towards the nose, as you're seeing.
That's fine. 15 feet across, I can work with that.
Okay.
That's a pretty small ship.
That's not counting their little engines. I'm just talking about the hull.
Yeah.
So, including
And
the engine, it'd be what?
including the
20,
engines.
25?
It
Yeah,
would end up
15.
being if we add another. We'll say 30 feet across if you include the engines on either side.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Just
Okay.
because I must know for geometry purposes.
Oh, of course, it's purely academic.
Purely academic.
Once you get here, that is.
All right, so we're in the docks. It is at night. However, the area is pretty well generically. It is at least all dimly lit by the fire. If you're close to the fire, it'll be brightly lit. And the ships themselves do have little like running lights at the tip that would be bright light, but otherwise everything would pretty well count as dim light. Mordecai, that's not really a thing for you. Although for the professor, is darkness a thing for you?
Nope. I have devil sight.
Okay. All right. Well then, you pretty well see the map as it is.
In color too.
Yeah. You get I don't know, you just like turn on your predator like filters as you kind of, and then you find the right one for the situation here. In fact, when you use that invocation, do you cosmetically have your eyes do anything in particular?
So as the darkness comes to adjust, actually, yeah, a small set of glasses probably does appear
Check.
from the headband, and he's like, he just pops them out, and it's like, yes, much better. Now I can see in the darkness.
Okay.
Check.
I can hear you.
I know. I'm hoping you can. It's so frustrating. I can't get my voice adjusted.
Oh.
It's really sad. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It'll all be fine.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so without
It's fine.
yeah, there we go. It's fine. The world's on fire. It's cool. We got this. Oh, Poison Ivy, thank you for the bits. All right, because I don't know what you're going to do, and as a way to mediate some things, I would like all of you to roll into initiative, and we'll handle this in kind of a narrative initiative, and then we can go into micromanaging turns if something in particular warrants it. Casimir, what's going on? 20, 21,
Casimir.
21, 3.
Casimir didn't want to come. He would have rather stayed in the hotel.
Well, first time for everything.
Well, docks are too crowded.
Not no mo, they ain't. And then I'm gonna roll for I'm gonna roll for big ship and little ships.
It's convenient that Mordecai and I have the same initiative.
Yeah,
True. It's
yeah,
true.
shenaniganery of the highest order,
We
right
can
there.
work in tandem.
It was meant to be. Me and you and me.
Right.
No matter how I roll the dice and diminish your HP.
You shush. You shush your mouth.
All right. Well, we're gonna have a Mordecai and Bright, or Bright and Mordecai. I don't know if you're both like after you, no after you, no after you, no after you. But you two can.
I think it's better for me to go first.
Okay. So then
Do
we
you agree,
have.
Mordecai?
I've always done it. You pick on the turn, but if you want to go first, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
That's how I've always done it, but that's just me.
We'll go. I mean, I don't know how much it'll matter, but just to have you in an order, we'll go Bright, Mordecai. Then we have a Jaden. Then we have a Professor. And then I get to do things. And then Casimir gets to be fashionably late.
Of course he does.
You know, it's kind of assesses the battlefield. That's totally what's going on.
Cleric initiative.
Yeah. Casimir, you have healing spells. That works.
Yes, I have cure wounds.
Yeah. And like 2 spell slots to cast it. Yeah, you're a healer, totally.
Hey, I have 10 spell slots.
All right.
Fake Rick.
So in the broader initiative, we have Bright and Mordecai who are flying out towards one of the ships. And as far as you know, no one has seen or shouting or put a spotlight or any sort of magical illumination on you. So you're going to go out and try and do some things, and it'll be a couple minutes before the other 3 come in. So as the enemy ships are presumably unaware, you can act until such a time where someone says, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here," and does something about it. So you're flying over from this lower corner, and
Not actual size.
yeah, not actual size, but we'll just have to give a little bit of we'll just have to give a little representation for approximately where you all are. So you started over here, and just I don't know. You tell me that the others, the one ship is making a very slow 360, still spouting water. In this moment, we have the other the smaller ships that are kind of doing like a little maneuver. You know, they'll like fire from one side, and then they're kind of like doing a quick little turn to get to the other where there's cannons that are ready to go. But they're kind of, for the most part, they're holding their positions on the lookout for whoever started attacking them in the harbor, causing some shenanigans. You're flying, Mordecai, you're invisible, and Bright, you are going to be ethereal.
Actually, can you shrink our tokens down back to this way they were? It's
Sure.
probably better.
Okay. Boop.
Because we're still like 50 times the normal size at that scale.
Yeah.
But what ship are we going towards?
Well, I hadn't thought of that yet. So Maddie, can you
Mhm.
tell me, as far as the big whale ship, does it look like the cannons? I don't necessarily understand. Are they like riot control, or are they more like firefighting, or are they just like for show?
It
Is that something that-
seems to be maybe firefighting. I'll tell you what. Go ahead and in this moment make just a straight up investigation.
14.
14. Given some of the other clues as you're approaching and on your way here, the original intent may have been for some sort of fire suppression. However, there were a lot of pipes that were flown in beyond the tower going to the harbor. And so this ship may well have some kind of an interface with the pipes.
Huh. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. That's very interesting. Okay, so Mordecai, I think that what we should do is I'd like to Maddie, was there any cannon fire coming from the big ship, or was that all from the escorts?
No, the escorts were the ones providing the traditional cannon fire. The large blue ship, if it's shooting anything, it's water. As far as you've seen, there's been no explosive cannons or the like coming from this larger ship.
Okay, and the last question: which escort ship is the one that took the hits?
Let's see. I'll put a little mark. We'll say this one has taken some hits, this one has taken some hits, and this one's close to the big one. That one's taken some damage as well.
Okay. Okay, so Mordecai, what I'd like to do is I'd like to go and I'd like to explore the big whale ship first, and if we can find a way to disable it, that'll be great. And if not, then I'll go to one of the escorts, probably the one that's behind, the one. Wait, oops, I'm not even on video. I haven't been on video this whole time.
The one up here.
I thought you went invisible.
Well, I will be
role-playing. There we go.
So I motioned to that ship over there. That
Okay.
ship over there. And I'll probably try to go to that one if I can't do anything with the big ship. So I don't know where you want to hang out, but just stay safe, and if I need your help, be ready.
Always.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is cast Disguise Self, and I'm going to miss my ragamuffin shape, but Disguise Self to turn myself a complete dark midnight blue.
Ah, very cool.
So it's not as good as invisibility, but it's pretty good. And then we have our fly. So Mordecai, I can see you when you're invisible as long as we stay close together. So I'll we can split up when we have to, but until then, let's stick close, okay?
Sounds good. And we fly off towards the big ship.
Okay. Super gnome.
All right. You begin flying out over the harbor open space, over the water, the long ships that have docked sometime earlier in the day, or they've been in there for a couple days. You're approaching the big whale-like ship, and there is a let's see. Mordecai. When I say let's see, it's more like a you see. Your passive perception's at a 26 now, right? 27.
27.
Ooh.
I have the eyeballs of a vampire.
Yes. All right. As you're flying out, you are catching.
I have the heart of a lion and a lifetime ban from the zoo.
You catch that. Well, Bright, you're gonna see this as well, as an arc of lightning flies out from the point up here and makes a connection with this ship. And Mordecai, you can see, just even passively with a little bit more detail, there is medium-sized humanoid that is dressed very darkly, very in kind of like frumpy robes, and is standing here and has an arc of electricity going out to the ship, and it's not a one and done. Like, as you're flying, like, you catch it out of the corner of your eye and you look, and it's not just the lightning bolt is gone. This seems to be sustained electricity arcing out from this person into the ship.
Okay, where's the person?
The person, I'll put a little token. Yeah, pretty much there. I think I...
Okay, so the person is on shore.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's a token. Oh, that's... Yeah, that'll work. So, not exactly there, but there, and there's a sustained kind of lightning arc between this person and the one ship. So, okay, you are approaching. No one's shouting at you. There's no sort of intercept or the like as you're coming up on this. Although you are getting a lot closer, that there are crew that are aboard the ship on the deck that are, kind of putting out fires. On the lookout, assessing damage. So if you are going to go ethereal, you can go dark blue, and that might be like a disadvantage on perception, but you are close, and with all the other light and fireworks and stuff going on, there's more of a chance they're going to see you now bright. If you want to do anything else.
So I had another question,
Sure.
and that was about Fabricate, because I realized that I would assume that Fabricate works the way I rule Fabricate works, but it's not my game; it's your game. So let me double check.
Okay.
If I want to use Fabricate on something that's already been manufactured, as long as it's not like worked stone, as is excluded in the spell, let me run the spell for you. So, can I use that to change the shape of materials that are already, like, in a manufactured form?
Like worked metals and wood and things like that?
Like a ship hull, for example?
I will say no to Fabricate in that regard, because it is about raw materials, and there are other spells like Pass Wall or Shatter or some other things that might be advantageous to you to get through a wooden or a metallic hull. So yeah, Fabricate in this instance, I wouldn't have that you could modify something that is already in a finished state, and tended to by people as well. Just sort of like, could you fabricate, someone's full plate armor to just like turn them into a statue, kind of a thing. I wouldn't see that as a viable thing to do. So yes, in this case, if you find some debris and you want to fabricate on it, you can, but you would have to use another spell to pass through or destroy or unlock your way in.
Okay. Alright. So, in that case, so Mordecai, it looks like I'm not going to be able to do the thing exactly the way I wanted to do it, but I can still, I'm sure I can still make some mischief. So, I'm going to, it might be that I can't do very much to the whale ship, but at least I can explore it and take a look around, and then move on to one of the escort ships. So,
Sounds good.
just sit tight, and do you know where you want to land?
I probably would want to remain invisible on top of the ship hull. Just out of the
Okay,
way
well, you have to
somewhere.
make up your mind pretty quick. That's all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm gonna land on the ship hull out of the way of anyone who's on it.
On the
Okay.
big ship or on the small damaged escort?
On the big ship.
Okay.
okay, and now it's time for me to uncork the super magic
Okay.
So
Ooh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
go with I'm gonna go ethereal, which we know is gonna happen. It's just a question of when. And I'm just gonna fly right into the middle of the whale ship. And I know you told me that the engines aren't ethereal.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, when you turn ethereal, all the donuts are visible and solid.
okay. So, is it just like the machinery or the whole shebang?
The engines for sure, and in a way, as you're ethereal here, Bright, and you're all up on this ship, you can see that there is a network of metal wires that is acting. It's almost like a circulatory system inside. You know, you are the X-ray as you're passing through, and there in the metal of the engines is for sure very large, notable things that are real in etherealness. And you're seeing that there's a kind of a metal that courses through the ship that also seems to have a physical translation into the ethereal plane. Now, I mean, you're small enough you can kind of crawl and float and dodge around the metal. You know, you're not gonna somehow like garrote yourself, or you know, oops, I tripped and piano wired some dude.
I mean, as long as he's bad, it's okay.
Okay. Well, look, if video games teach us anything, if anything can be killed or destroyed, it's a bad guy. So test the environment, you know, hit everything and try and hit people, and only bad guys and bad barrels of oil will die or explode. And
I think the sound broke up.
I think he broke.
uh-oh.
You break?
He break?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
There's
Reddy
a break.
died.
Uh-oh.
There is a break. We cannot
okay.
hear you.
Chat, can you hear me? Oh
I
no,
think even the stream broke. He might have.
disconnected.
Hey.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
out.
your internet
Darn
chucked it for a second there.
Twitch.
You've been disconnected for Discord for a second there.
Yeah.
And roll 20.
Disconnection, blarg. Can you see me?
You're
Yeah, you're not connected on Roll20.
Nope, not connected. Roll 20.
The network. The network has gained sentience.
Oh, jeez. All right, well, let's see what we can do here. Mm-hmm. Is
Stream's
this...
back.
Can you hear me?
The stream's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
stream's
Hear
back.
you now.
All right,
there's
yep.
a- Hey.
Hey.
Oh wow, when I refreshed my roll 20, so now I have everyone on camera!
Yay!
Yay!
Serendipity! All right, it seems like we're back in business. It's not an online game without a disconnection or an error or lethality, a mute issue when you were running your vampire game.
Oh god. Don't remind me of that. I clicked the button in OBS and it didn't do the thing! Ah!
He keeps saying that, but I don't believe it.
If you don't want to be
You
reminded,
believe
then
it as much as you want. It's my story and I'm sticking to it!
I'll send Derek over to your
That's
house with a bag of
no
amnesia
brainer.
dust. Now, it may look like a sap or a blackjack, but it's a bag full of amnesia dust that he'll be glad to and help you forget.
Sorry, what?
There we go. There.
Amnestics.
Forget.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, what?
So, what was the last thing for me then that you ended up hearing?
You were kind of describing sort of what the donuts look like in the ethereal plane, and now what the ship is going to look like in the ethereal plane.
Okay.
And,
So yes.
destroying everything.
And there was an aside about how you can always kill anybody in a video.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, you can destroy everything.
Yeah. If it's a bad guy or it's affiliated with bad guys, you should be able to destroy it. And things that are good guys or affiliated with good guys will be invulnerable to anything that you do. So just, I mean, go and swing, and I guess it's what video games do. So yes, the ships. The ships, the large obvious engines are manifested in the ethereal plane, and there's also a network, almost like a circulatory system of wires that are flowing through the ship, and all seem to coalesce to another kind of a core in a more central area of the ship. Pardon me. So that's what you're seeing, Bright. Also, Bright, as you go ethereal, is this sort of like going to warp speed? Like, does everything kind of like stretch out or turn pink, or like do you go to plaid or something?
Yeah, so I've kind of always imagined, you know, the Romulan cloaking device.
How, is it?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Is it different from the Klingon? Doesn't it just sort of shimmer and?
Yeah, they're the same. So that's how I always figured invisibility would work. So I always figured etherealness would be more like the transport, except I'm all pink glitter.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you kind of just all right. I like it. Yeah, so yeah, you just sort of like sparkly shimmer into like a subspace. Okay, and then Mordecai, you land on the large ship in an out of the way place. Now it's not to scale, but I found something I was able to dust off.
Oh.
Hang on. Hang on. Don't look.
Sad memories.
No, don't look.
Sad memories. My goal is to be the first living person to board a Shadowhar ship. We'll see if we succeed in that.
Okay, so now obviously this is not the whale ship, but I was not able in time to find something I found satisfactory. But this is an airship that we all know and possibly tolerate from before, so we get the idea as we're moving about. Now you two kind of are on the back part of the whale ship, the big, like, the water pump one. And although Bright, you were actually like inside, right? You floated through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going right through the side.
Okay. Well, as far as you can tell, there's no kind of there's not someone waiting there like, oh, it's you, or you've not set off the alarms of anyone. So what is your strategy until such a time that you make yourself obvious?
Well, I really just want to explore. I want to see if I can find out. I want to explore the ship quickly, not fiddling around, and looking for two things. First, any obvious types of explosives, and secondly, if I can find out more about the mission of the ship, and thirdly, if I encounter anybody that looks well. I especially want to notice if there's anybody I can see, like, on my plane, because that's a big deal too. And don't forget, I do have 10 feet of sea invisibility. So
you have that, and also because you're a divination wizard, you can read any writing, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Hey, you didn't have to sell your soul to do it either.
Well,
Well,
actually,
not
I can't
directly.
read any writing. I can't use the read all writing and see invisibility at the same time.
Oh,
It's one or the other. So I can't actually read all writing right now.
Oh, so you also get little, like, predator vision modes to scroll through. Okay, all right.
Pretty much. Those are the two that are useful. There's a couple others, but really as much in this game.
Okay. Do you manifest glasses as well, or I guess what do your ethereal eyes look like when you're in this see invisibility mode?
So I don't necessarily know that there's any difference in the see invisibility. I always kind of figured that the read all writing would be like a camera shutter effect. But for see invisibility, I think it's just like how the camera zooms in, except there's no cameras, so it doesn't...
It's cool, but it's creepy to imagine like your pupils just kind of doing that, like that close in and like not a reticle, what's the
Like a camera shutter.
yeah. There's a name for that. Anyway, but yeah, to just imagine your. Are you sure you're not a warlock? Come on, that's cool and creepy. All right.
I don't know. The one that I was always picturing is that Bright keeps looking below somebody's mouth, like looking towards the chin or neck area. What are you doing? Reading subtitles.
Reading the subtitles.
I kind of entertained when Jade was using that read power, where it you kind of like you were looking at all the Fey writing or whatever, where it's almost like your pupils turn into like a Rorschach test, like they're flowing and like adapting to fit the text.
That wasn't one of mine. The one that was one of mine was she already knew it. Like she already knew what it said before she read it. She's just not allowed to say what she said, what it says, until she would have ended up reading it in the first place. That was half of her shtick. Is I know what's coming, I just can't say anything by pact contract.
Jade and Bright were so close, and yet just the methodology was very different, but they were kind of the same. Yeah. The same thing there.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going off and you're
Now
doing
we're
a
all
stealth
sad.
mission in the bowels of the ship. Then let's cut up to Mordecai. Mordecai, you do have to worry about the physical location of others because people can bunk into you. There are people who are walking the deck. There's no one that seems to be coming right for you, but there are some people running around. Orders are being shouted. I mean, you're a Dex boy, so I'm not worried, like in some sort of passive sense, that someone under these normal emergency conditions will bump into you because you're very aware and very nimble. But I want to know then, what are you doing while you're topside, or if you want to infiltrate the bowels of the ship, but on the real plane?
More along
Oh,
the lines
hang on
of...
one second. It's always something. My headset just died. It's D&D, everyone. Welcome to Tuesdays.
Woo!
Maddie took a nap, but he to put his headphones on the charger.
One moment.
They didn't get a nap.
And boop 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 boop. Hey, all right, I'm live again. Thank you.
The headphones didn't get a nap, did they?
No, I should have plugged them in last night, but I just set them to the side and didn't. Shame on me.
But Mordecai is more or less just looking around for the most part, not really doing anything invasive as far as getting into the ship, because he knows that he can dimension door to Bright at any point.
Okay.
So that's really what he's waiting for, is for her to say, "Okay, come get me."
Okay. So then.
But just looking around otherwise.
All right.
Anything that catches my eye.
Sure. Then what we'll do is, as you are patrolling the ship, you have time on your side. You don't have time on your side. This will take a little bit of time. You've landed and you're beginning your investigations. Bright can just sort of drift through and do what she needs to do here, and then Mordecai, maybe you're doing more of like a pattern as you're trying to use your knowledge of what you've observed maybe on the other ships, your understanding in some sense of how the other one worked, because there's probably a lot that would still work here.
Yeah.
And what is going to happen while this is going on? Okay.
Oh.
There is another round of cannon
I'm
fire.
ethereal now. I
Oh.
forgot to change my...
Special effects. So these three have pivoted and turned to fire on the figure that is still causing the endearing pew pew arc here, and so you hear cannons, you hear cannon fire go off, and there's two big kersplooshes, and one is a resounding crash of a cannonball into stone. Now, Mordecai, as you're looking elsewhere, I'm not going to give you the results unless you directly are going to spend time watching what is going on. But it does sound like it does sound like the three. Oh, hopefully she'll come back. As she's in the area, it might have been a case where maybe they're having some sort of like a rolling update or whatever, like an ISP brownout or something. Then
Kind of like a boop.
Well, she and the others are still on their way here. So without knowing the ultimate fate, in the immediacy here, there's some cannons that go off. But if that doesn't detract you,
It would catch my attention for a second to see if, because I don't like that they're firing at the shoreline, but I'm staying put.
And that ship has received some damage as well. All right. There's not a similar report of cannons from the other side. However, more akin to the picture that you see, this ship has moved in, and there's now 4 on this side and 2 on this side over here. It's kind of coming over to form like a hovering support wall. And the whale ship is more of a just like an upright, 12 and 6 position as this is going on.
Okay. The whale ship is actually in the water, right?
Yes,
The others are the
it
ones that are
is.
hovering.
Yeah, it is. There's a portion of it, a big portion that is submerged, but it is in the water. The others are hovering above it, probably 20 feet or so. Not terribly high up because there's not a lot of the whale ship that's above the water, so they'd be kind of useless if they're 100 feet up. Okay. As you continue your exploration, then, no one still seems to see you, Bright, or interacts with you in a way that would be, I don't know, if you've ever had anyone walk through you. Maybe there's a first time for everything in life, and you can mark that off your list. But like a soldier kind of comes, or a sailor is like running, like turns a corner. I don't know if you're even obeying the proper whatevers, but still, at some point, someone runs through you. Ta-da.
Whew. That really does give you a chill.
And as you're making your way through the bowels of the ship, go ahead and roll a perception.
Oh no. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh well,
No,
it's Christmas, just not in the order that you want. There is red and green, but it's you've been a bad gnome. Okay, no problem. Nothing is outstanding or catching your eye, or maybe everything is catching your eye, and so you're just you're a gnome and a
Help! My eye is caught. Help!
Oh, it's like Christmas up in here. Oh no.
Okay, so yeah, everything is everywhere, and especially where you're at, there's just this overpowering hum of the engines that are almost even on the ethereal plane. You're getting this kind of like vibration from the engines as well. So there is some kind of an interaction ethereally from them. And I don't know if you want to, like, you test the cables that you can see. They don't buzz you or electrocute you or anything, but you can definitely, it would feel like you're touching like a rope or a wire when you're not ethereal, but you are. So Mordecai, let's see, on your next sort of round, the lightning bolt arcs again from a similar location. So it seems like either there's another person using the same spell, or it's the same person with the same spell. And once more, this sustained bolt of electricity is just laying into this ship and arcing, and it doesn't seem to be. There's not a huge instant explosion. Although, Mordecai, what I would like you to do is I do want you to make an active perception check, because there's a lot of other distractions and noises and things going on.
All right. 20.
20. Oh, okay. Well, it's a good thing your Bright's not there, so you're just kind of flexing on her. Okay,
I wouldn't
so
have noticed anyway.
and now I would like you to make an intelligence-based Tinker Tools check,
All right.
because you've done some mechanics on these ships.
And I actually would have advantage on that. That's if it's the history of it or the way that things work.
Yep, that'll work.
Because that is my specialty.
Oh yeah, you were elbow deep in the guts of one of these ships. I think you lost your wristwatch in one. So.
That's only one roll. Let me roll a second one for advantage.
Yep. So it's a 24 or a 23. And Mordecai's just like, yeah, whatever, easy mode. I got this.
Easy mode.
Yeah. All right. You hear a kind of a metallic groaning and pinging. Kind of like how metal sounds when it's starting to heat up or cool. As the arcing bolt of electricity has kind of like drifted along the side of the ship and has made contact with one of the engines. And so you're hearing that the engine is starting to like heat as electricity is like crackling over the metal as this like circuit or this connection between the casters has been made. And in this moment when you're thinking, you're like, oh, no, it's a metallic sound kind of heating something, and all of a sudden you have a flashback. You've experienced what happens when an engine ruptures on one of these ships.
Oh no.
And the engine's not rupturing right now, though sustained attacks on it, like if this lightning bolt keeps up for much longer, it will most likely rupture the engine that it has connected to.
And ghosts might eviscerate everything in their path.
Yeah, remember what happened the last time I did that?
Just-
Yeah, that didn't end well, did it?
Yeah, no. I'm getting flashbacks to Stelter, and that's not fun.
She wasn't that bad. Come on.
Oh, no, no,
One of the lines is, "I feel bad and I feel guilty." I don't. There's nothing I can do about that right now.
Well, I'm blissfully unaware of all of this.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I'm having a grand old time in the guts of a ship.
So now the lightning bolt, is it hitting? It's not hitting the whale ship though. It's hitting the ship over here, right?
Correct. Yeah, that escort ship has an arc of sustained electricity between the caster and the ship.
Okay, that's good enough.
Okay, so Mordecai, is this? Are you gonna let things take its course, or do you want to continue to peruse the ship and identify components of it? The whale ship, that is.
I am going to find something to hide behind.
Find something to hide behind? Oh, there's plenty on board that you can. In fact, Mordecai, you go to move by one of the little fountains of water, and it does seem like they are. Maybe this is in some way a fire ship. It's really big and super specified. Like, I don't know what kind of fires they've been putting out, but there is like a pin that is keeping this water cannon in place, like locked in. If you remove it, you can even like move the cannon around if you wanted, or you could simply keep it locked and kind of hunker down by the railing by the cannon that would be providing you.
I just want to be out of sight because I think I might be dropping invisibility for protection from good and evil.
Okay. while it's not causing direct discomfort or damage, in some weird way, I will say that the being next to such a large volume of pumping water, of moving water, is giving you the vampiric tingles. So you're getting the vibe, but we're not at the point of you getting that acid damage from it.
Right. Better that right now than ghosts.
Okay.
So I'm hiding. I'm not dropping invisibility yet until that thing ruptures.
All right, and then it hasn't happened yet, so I'm gonna give each of you. Well, they're gonna. I'm gonna have my bad guys take one more turn, and then we're going to go. We're gonna still be a narrative initiative, but the others will arrive on the scene in this narrative right now. So now we're gonna have some more ships that are gonna be pew-pewing at the lightning bolt person. Oh my goodness. All right. So there are two cannonballs that just shatter stone against the piers, and probably even like continue to roll and lodge themselves into the wall of the condominium here. And a couple others just go kersploosh into the water, and just there's a big spray up. And the lightning seems to stop again, as it has been suppressed by the cannon fire.
Who did we lose this time? Oh, we lost a Fluffy!
Oh no!
We're just going to
Rolling black
Go!
dots everywhere.
We're dropping like flies, man! Go! Come on, get out of here! We gotta escape!
Game over.
Yeah, game over, man!
Game over, man! Game over!
Not much of an exaggeration at this point.
Well, yeah, right? Derek, are you more of a pulse rifle guy, or would you want one of the smart guns?
Smart gun, hands
Okay.
down. Her name is Sasha.
Plus, you get those cool training montages where you just sort of like flex with them, and all right. So the lightning is suppressed once more, and what I'm going to do then is we're in our narrative rounds here. So we have Bright and Mordecai. We might be down a Bright. We're going to presume that she's going to continue to tickle the inside of this whale ship. Mordecai, you're above deck. The crackling of the lightning bolt and that kind of resonant, like, ting-ting or whatnot of the electricity coursing over the metal has stopped after the cannon fire. You are welcome to crawl around or stay hunkered down or do whatever you want to do, but in this narrative, not 6 seconds, but generic kind of, I don't know, maybe it's a couple minutes or whatever. What would you like to do with that immediate threat?
No one seems to be picking up on me yet, right?
Correct. And oh, you. You don't have any sort of intrinsic ability to understand, like, native Shadowheart, not like accented Southern Common Shadowheart, but like we're talking true Northern.
Like if they speak with that thick of an accent, probably not. Or if they speak with another language, then probably not.
Okay.
Because I'm infernal and common.
I'm the other one who knows.
Others haven't noticed you, but some of them are dangerously close as you kind of like squish yourself into a corner because they rush over by where you're at and are pointing over the railing and shouting something, presumably at the ship that was under this sustained magical attack. And it seems to upset them. You're kind of at that level because you're crouching down for cover anyway. But there do appear to be jimmies that are in the state of being rustled by the events of this arcing lightning into the engine.
All right. Do I feel? Are they crowding me to the point where I can't weasel past, or?
I would allow it with an acrobatics to represent more like a yoga kind of a slither, and Hey, you're a vampire. What do you care about throwing your joints out? Yeah, it can hurt, but it's not gonna be like permanent damage.
No. All right.
You must learn the mysteries of yoga.
If I were, do I feel like the fly is still active?
Oh yeah, because the fly comes off of your instrument, but you have to be the one that concentrate
no, the fly
on
is
that.
off of Bright. Bright's concentrating on that.
Oh no, it was
Yeah,
your
Bright
invisibility that was
concentrated on
off
the
your
fly.
instrument, right?
Invisibility is me.
Okay.
Yes.
How long does invisibility last? 10 minutes?
An hour.
Oh, an hour? Oh, yeah, yeah. You're still visible. So she presumably hasn't dropped her concentration or been cocooned or anything. So
Yeah. So fly lasts an hour. Invisibility lasts an hour. If I fly up, is there anyone directly above me?
yeah, they would most likely feel you rush past. Like you would probably brush past them. Or if not your wind, then I don't know. You might like tickle their nose with your tail or something as you're super Mordecaiing out of there. But they're all kind of like close and like da 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 and
I'd still need to weasel past.
yeah. If you want to be completely undetected, you'll need to go out of your way to kind of be loose and limber.
Yeah, let's do that. But I don't want to move. No, I'm not moving until they crowd me. If they crowd me.
I was watching, and just like with all the talk of aliens and everything, like as you're like, what am I doing? You're calculating. There's just a blur of motion behind your head, and then it goes off screen, and then suddenly, face hugger. Also, Goblin Cave. Hello, thank you for the raid. Welcome, my dear goblins.
Yeah, I'm not moving unless they look like they're going to touch me.
Okay. We'll kind of hold what Bright's doing. So this is going to be the other team is going to arrive, and 2/3 of you go before my ships do, and since we're in narrative combat, Casimir, the team is carrying you in this case. So you get to act when they do. So we have Jaden, Professor, and Casimir. You are close enough if you want to, if you want to initiate your teleport, you can. There are 2 ships on this side, 4 ships on this side, and this large whale ship is now angled. Is now at the angle you see it, except it's to the right, so it's more like at 2 o'clock right now, from our perspective here. And water's still pouring out of it. There are fires that are spreading among the wooden ships and among the buildings. Most of the people that aren't trying to put out fires on their ships or their property have fled because you've had to, you're not like throwing elbows to get through them, but you've certainly had to wade through a bunch of people that were retreating from the harbor area. So anyone else who's here is either an innocent trapped in fire or under rubble, in which case, I don't know if there's much you can do, or they're here on purpose to try and put out fires, or they're other sort of maybe an emergency responder to look for people to get out of here. Paper Mario 64, thank you very much for the follow. But yeah, so you're here if you want to initiate your teleportation, your dimension door. I can say if you want to go out closer, that could take you like to the end of this pier here.
Yeah. Fluffy.
Yeah, I'm back. My network is working.
Oh, your camera's meant to be in black and white, yeah?
Yeah, because
Yes,
I'm ethereal.
ethereal.
Okay.
I'll
Okay, cool.
become
Okay.
I'll become recolored once I'm back to normal.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna initiate the teleport to get us to
Okay.
the harbor.
Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. And Okay. Not necessarily in this order, or rather, like, all of you can fit at the end of this pier without being in the water. So you're here. You're not terribly far away from the very slowly spinning water ship, and you can see what's going on here. I don't know. This is kind of narrative time, so if there's something you want to do over the course of a little bit of time, you can do so beyond just the dimension door. If someone wants to, I don't know, even take you further onto one of the ships, you can combine your abilities in some way.
If someone does have the ability to do that, I would appreciate it, because I only have a total of 3 spell slots.
I probably can do that.
Yeah, if you were to get me on one of the ships, I can then get to work, making things happen.
Is it my turn?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a team turn.
Team turn.
Yeah,
Alright.
so you could go first.
I can summon. Let's see, there's 3 of us. 4 giant owls, which are
Giant
large
owl.
creatures, so
So
we can ride
use them. We can use them as mounts.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Sweet.
All right, so the professor teleports you all to the end of the pier. Casimir calls 4 giant owls into existence, and
And upon the wings of a dream we fly.
Jaden, Inspector Stillwaters, would you like to do anything to participate or to dip
Yes,
out of
to
this?
not be constantly attacked.
Give him a moment.
You haven't left me alone for the past 10 minutes.
She loves you.
That sound like love to you?
Sounds like
Yowling, purring, murderous intent. It's all the same.
It's,
for you.
it's actually
Different.
they're 4.
There we go. Okay, I'm allowed to play now. According to my owner, I'm allowed to play now.
Thank you, Mercy,
This
for
is
letting
why I
Derek
have
come out and play
dogs.
with us.
So, if I understood this correctly, if I recall, sorry, my memory's fuzzy, I was on my way to the docks. So, everybody's at the pier. There's now giant owls.
8 giant owls, apparently.
Okay. I have no idea why there are giant owls. I have no idea what the hell's going on. Things are exploding.
Yes.
I am
Just
watching
jump on
these
owl. Don't worry about it.
I will jump on an owl, apparently. Okay, that's my turn.
All right. So yeah, Inspector owls come just come swirling down. Casimir's like, get on, losers. We're going to Shadowhar, and you mount your owls, and you
Fly up into the night.
yeah, I guess so. Here, I'm gonna. I know this is Jasper, but this is like the closest thing to like an owl that I can quickly summon. Obviously, this is not to scale, but we do have a fleet of owls. That is, I guess that's going to be inbound here. I guess that'd be more of a, and come down more like this. Okay, so that happened. Now it's time for the big ship. Continues to turn. Oh, by the way, Bright, when you were gone, is there anything you wanted to do in your narrative time? Beyond continue.
So how much time is it exactly?
We're probably, I don't know, like 10 minutes into things. You've been
Okay.
going at a brisk pace, but it's...
Well, I guess the main thing is, have I gained any insight into the operations of the ship beyond what I already know?
Go ahead and make a... You don't have tinker tools. You're a forest gnome, so you have calligraphy.
Yeah, no, I don't have. Yeah,
Uh,
I don't expect the calligraphy set to be useful here.
no, I'm open-minded, but I'm having difficult making the connection. You know what? we could do this through Arcana. There's some magic stuff going on here. Like, how does this exist in the material and the ethereal?
Okay.
Yeah,
24.
24. Nice. Okay. All right, so Mordecai Bright, 24, Master Mordecai, as you're shouting your ability results to each other, a la a certain notorious dwarf and elf at the Battle of Helm's Deep. And with your Arcana here, the metal is not necessarily it's not magical, but it can interact with magic, or it has properties that it would share as a physical material with magic, and you can eventually, if you were to trace this all to some kind of a command center, be able to find the brain or where the controls for the vast majority of the ship are coming from, since these wires seem to go all throughout the ship to do different things. And even some more mundane things. You've seen below decks here. You've seen that there are doors that would otherwise be that would seal tight, and a sailor will go up and put his or her hand on a metal plate, and the door would open up and then close behind the sailor. So a lot of things are controlled somehow by this metal, which is magical in some capacity. Though you're not picking up. There's no one else that is on the plane able to see you, and with a 24 Arcana, and given what you were, because Mordecai, you spilled the beans about how the ship worked, right? When you got back and reunited, or did you never get into that?
I maybe have went over some vague details, but
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have an intricate technical discussion, I don't
Okay.
think.
yeah, because Mordecai's the engineer.
Okay. Sure. So, but there are more engines. Some of them are beneath the water as well, because I mean, you can kind of like see quasi through the decks, through the some of the tangles as well, and whatever the engines are made of the same material, but there's something much more magical itself about the engines than just simply the fact that they're made of this material. Given that they have this vibration that even reaches you on the ethereal plane, and there's just this kind of weird interaction going on. As for other things, there's a lot of pipes running through this ship, and this is for more than just the occasional potty break someone needs to take when you're flying around. This ship does seem like it was made to pump a lot of water, as you're finding some structures that are similar to engines. However, they are moving water. Like, you can hear the water rushing through the pipes along with the humming of the water pump, not really the engine in this case. So they're able to harness this machinery that not only provides this kind of hovering propulsion in the sky, but they've harnessed it to do things like open doors and pump large amounts of water, along with who knows what other little gadgets. But rock gnome stuff, it was kind of a it was a cultural course you had to take in college, but you got through that and you went on to wizardry. So
one of my grandfathers is rock gnome, but I don't know rock gnome culture. I'm not like them.
Well, when you get to go back to Oct and you have surviving family members, we'll explore that.
Yeah, I hope I have surviving family members.
I do too. I mean, I shouldn't say that.
I hope Oct survives.
Bad DM. Don't say that.
Spoilers. Okay.
Yeah, you're a divination wizard. You can handle it.
Yeah. This is the sort of thing I'm used to. That's why I'm on this stupid quest.
At least you're honest.
Okay. Well, I mean, having learned all that, I think I'm ready to begin phase 2.
Okay.
Which is just ripping out all the wires that I can get to.
Okay.
seeing if I mean, I don't have, I mean, I have spells that would be useful, but I can't cast any of them, so I'm just gonna rip out wires.
Sure. Make they do like they're interactable. I guess make a athletics check.
Okay. I would like to roll really high. Please let me roll really high. That's not really high.
That's a 4 or a 5 if you had advantage. So, all right, you go and you're like, I'm gonna rip this, and then you just like you're trying to put your feet down to get like traction, and you just realize that your feet are just phasing through the deck, and you're just kind of like hanging on to a wire, like a little set of monkey bars or something. You're just kind of floating in the as things are happening around you here. Okay, so then the others did their thing. Unbeknownst to you, there's 8 owls and 3 party members outside. And the big ship keeps on turning. So we're gonna say that the ship is at the ship. If it was at 2, we're gonna say it's at it's about 3:30 right now. As it's going, and from this position. The water is pouring out and is causing. It's not really reaching in a fountain the edge of the pier, but as it's like spouting like into the water, it's causing a push of water up against here, which is creating like a little localized flood of water. On the stones here, because there's just water being pushed up against it. So there's some waves and things that are just sort of lapping over as the ship continues to spin. That said, if it does continue to spin, it might just help put out the fires down here around 5 o'clock. So we'll see what ends up happening there. The small ships are they've made another turn, presumably because their other sides have been loaded, and then we get to a once more there is a sustained crackling bolt of electricity that comes up from the tip of the walk here, and it makes connection with the ship once more. And Mordecai, in your situation, you're hearing that kind of ping, ting, ping, ting of metal back under duress. And the small ships seem to be waiting for something like this to happen. And for my flyers, or those who have taken to the sky, you all can at least see, whatever vision you have, that there is an illuminated lightning bolt, a sustained zap coming from the edge of the walk here. Despite all the water, like in the waves and things coming around, and it has found one of the ships over here, and then they're going to. Okay, 2 more kersplooshes that kind of just, I mean, they make another little wave that washes over, and 2 more cannonballs, just slam into the stonework and presumably destroy another person. It's kind of 2 of them have been finding a solid home and not a liquid home, so they could be finding their target or something's going on. But this figure continues to. Oh, are you all still here? Oh no, I've lost connection. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, lost connection again. Darn you, Twitch. Oh boy. Well, goodness. So for all of you watching this on YouTube, hi. I guess it's just us. Says it's reconnecting to chat. And now we play the waiting game. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. And it was a thrilling TV, right? Well, for those of you in the future, from this day forward, there has been a... There has been a connection issue. Well, goodness. I wonder if it's my... It might... Maybe it's my ISP. Something's going on. Oh, my. We might have to continue this into some kind of a... Are we going to have to continue this next week? Oh, it's only been an hour and a half. You know, we got kind of a half of a session in. All right, don't tell them this because they can't hear me right now. If they don't do something about this lightning bolt, if they can do something about it. Don't, as a DM, I mean, we'll see. I have an open mind. I'm not expecting anything to happen because they're busy otherwise. But maybe the 3 will actually, like, go that direction and find out. It's happening for a reason, and it could be a big clue. But I can tell you this, because it's just us. They don't know. They can't hear me right now. Well, I'll tell you what. What I will do, is I'm still recording, obviously. We have this going on. We have this this dogfight that is getting ready to have a sortie that is going to fly out, and they're interacting. They're finding more clues about the ship and what's going to happen. I mean, as players, you know, Mordecai in and out of character know what's going on. Bright out of character knows, but maybe not in character. The engines, if you all recall, the engines are filled with incorporeal undead. And if one of those engines breaches, then we might actually see what's happening. And as a dungeon master, right, if I practice what I preach as a dungeon master, this can provide a clue. And this also can show a controlled consequence of something that can happen. You know, and it could be a tool for him. If the party, this is my thinking, if the party wants to find a way to breach the major engines of this ship, then they could bring down this Leviathan-like machine. It doesn't have the assault cannons that the other ones did. But I really hope that they wonder, you know, because there's the clues about the pipes. There's this ship that was apparently made just to do this. They exist for a reason. As a dungeon master, they exist for a reason. And so pursuing that could lead to more clues, or it could lead to a side encounter, or maybe that's where they want to take the direction of the story. It will be their choice as a party, though, and we'll see what they end up doing. But you know what? I'm still trying to reconnect, and, well, that might just be the show for tonight. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Let's see. Yep, Discord's not up. I can try it on mobile. At least communicate with them in that regard. Find out what's happening here. All right. Well, you all out there watching this don't need to see me communicate on Discord with my players. I will do so, and hey, maybe we'll be back later. It'll just be a part 2. If not now, then next week, which will just be a part 2 for you whenever you watch this on YouTube. So, hi, future people. Welcome from May 20th, 2020.